So this mini lecture will be on the first part of the IRB. I will make several videos, short ones, so that you can go back and review them when needed. The first thing I need you to do is open up the IRB application. It is on the IRB website on the LCSC page. Open up your application and carefully read everything on the first page. This is the directions for how you are going to turn it in and what you are required to do. There's a couple of places I want to point out to you just to make sure. Don't click on any of these links because they normally don't work anyway. One of the things you need to do is read the directions on the application very carefully. They are color-coded. Red means stop. Obviously, yellow means there might be more questions, and green means move on to the next or skip. Skip and go to the next question. The important thing is here, this last paragraph, when you submit the IRB application, it has to have a very specific, it has to be saved under a very specific name so that they can file it, so they can find it easily when it's filed. So you look at here, it says that you have to file it under your last name of a PI, the primary investigator, which is, if you're in groups, just pick one person. So just the last name underscore PRIHP underscore, you'll put fall FA or FALL, whatever, the semester underscore year. It says here that you submit it to the IRB at LCSC mail. You do not submit it until I have given you approval to submit it, and then I also need to have the cover page and sign it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. The cover page is going to be saved a little bit differently, and here you have the last name underscore cover sheet underscore semester underscore year. I will take care of submitting that after you have signed it and submitted it to me as a PDF document. Let's see, here's on the first page. This is the cover sheet. So the first page you will print out after you filled it out. You will sign it and you will send it to me as a PDF. So save it as a PDF and send it to me. Only the first page is printed, signed, and sent to me as a PDF. On this cover sheet, you'll have the title as we have now worked it out on your sketches. You'll have the name of the principal investigator and the social sciences division, your email, phone numbers, address, relationship to school. Obviously, you're going to be students. You will sign it, the signature of the principal investigator, and date it. And you have to put here the date that you completed your IRB training, which should be this week sometime, I would hope. So get that date on there. Underneath in this area, you will put the other investigators that are, if you're in a group, so you'll just add their names and the date of their IRB completions. You're going to choose between exempt, expedited, and full. If you're working with vulnerable populations like children or inmates or anything like that, you will be looking at a full board review, which I don't believe any of you are. Most of you, I think all of you are exempt. So I would go ahead and put exempt on here. They will let you know if they don't believe it's exempt, but most 99% of you, I think, are actually exempt unless I have spoken with you. On the anticipated completion date of the research project, pick a date in April where you should, or I'm trying to think, completion date of the project, you can actually say that you are going to be done May 5 of 2023 because that's when the class is over. Under the advisor's name, you need to put me down. I'm with the Social Sciences Division, my email, my phone number, my address, and my IRB completion date, which is 9/18 of 2018. So once you have completed this front page, print it, sign it, scan it, and send it to me as a PDF. Make sure that when you save it as a PDF, that you save it under the directions that were above with your last name underscore cover sheet underscore semester underscore the year. So that if they come to me and they're not saved like that, they'll have to come back to you because I can't submit it unless you have it saved in the right manner. So for the rest of the application, I'm going to cover pages 1 through 4 on this video. Here's where you talk about the rationale and objectives of your project. The rationale is the purpose. So what is the problem statement? So you guys think about the first sentence in the problem statement that you come up with. This is an example of a research that I did with Lachelle last year. And our problem statement was that according to Simone, I can't pronounce his name, and Childs, there is an increased need to better facilitate an interactive learning environment which will improve student satisfaction and academic success. This is especially necessary as our hybrid program has sought to reach our rural Idaho and neighboring state citizens. So just a brief statement of why this is important. Make sure you cite this reference that you have there in APA format. And talk about your specific objectives. What is the purpose of your study? What are you hoping to gain? So you can put it in bullet forms like this. We are hoping to find that there is a relationship between variable X and variable Z. Or we're hoping to find that there's a difference between a pre-test and a post-test, but very specific of what is the purpose of your study. Your research question goes in box 4. It should be after we have worked through sketches 1 through 4. You should have a very clear picture of what your research question is. Copy and paste it right into here. If you have a hypothesis, unless you have a descriptive study, you're going to have a hypothesis. What is that you hypothesize? So this is your alternative hypothesis. You don't have to put your null in here. Just describe what you believe is going to happen, the results. Describe the research design. Is it a qualitative study? Is it a quantitative study? Is it descriptive? Is it a comparative? If you're comparing a pre-test and a post-test, so ours was a qualitative, so just a brief sentence. This is a qualitative study that aims to gather data on the effectiveness of the social work hybrid program weekend intensive sessions. So very specific, what is your approach and how are you going to collect data? Will any of the participants be under age 18? I don't think any of you guys have that, so make sure you mark no in that little session there. You want to talk about methodology and procedures. The first thing you want to talk about is the population. So remember, the population is different than the sample. So if you are, for example, working with women at UGM, the population that you are sampling are all the women who are living in shelter at Union Gospel Mission. The sample will be those who participate, those who are voluntarily participating. So where will the research be conducted? Most of you are probably going to use a Qualtrics link. So if you are using that, the research will be conducted via Qualtrics and it will be sent to Lewis Clark College social work students, alumni, and faculty. So tell us if you're using Qualtrics. It'll be posted on Facebook. It'll be posted, it'll be sent to specific individuals, but tell us where the research will be conducted. If you're conducting it at a facility, then be specific. This is where we're doing it, at the facility. When it comes to project sample size, take a guess. Look at the population that you are that you have access to and say maybe 20% of that population is going to participate. Maybe if you're lucky, you might get 50%. So just take a guess at how many. You want to talk about your sampling technique. How are you going to get participants to participate in your study? So how we did it was all faculty who taught social work hybrid intensive sessions who self-select to participate will be part of the study. So what you'll do, you'll say all the participants or all the residents at UGM who are under in shelter and are self-selecting to participate will be part of the study. So just say that whoever that from your population that's choosing. Or if you're using a random sampling, this is where you'll say, we randomly sampled X amount of cases, and this is what we came up with. Number 12, select your procedure for recruiting participants. Are you doing it with a poster and flyer? I think some of you are going to do posters and flyers. Are you mailing it to people, or are you emailing a survey and a request? How are you doing it? If you're doing something different, click Other and type in what it is that you're actually doing. So regardless of the method of how you present the consent form to potential participants, so regardless of contact method, how are you going to do it? Usually I have most of the students click this first box. The individuals will be approached about the research. The consent process will occur if they show interest in participating. So if you are sending out a link, you're inviting them to participate, they click on the Qualtrics, the first thing they see is your consent form at that time. What method will you be used to deliver the consent form? I say unless your participants are unable to read, they will be read by the participants themselves. Any culture or language barriers? Usually there's not. If there is, then type in how you're going to overcome that so that they can participate in the study. And that is where I'm going to end on this one.